do. And it's my pleasure now to call on our freeholder director, just demoted him, Director Cabana.
All right, good morning, everybody, and it's great to be here to celebrate the 25th anniversary of our Open Space Fund. You know, I was just reflecting back that 25 years ago, I was the mayor of Boonton Township, and we were one of the towns that at the time had, 60% open space within our 8 square miles, and most of that is still there, in part because of the funding that was available from Green Acres and from the county. But I'd like to thank you all for coming out here this morning to recognize this important milestone as we mark the 25th anniversary of the Morris County Open Space Preservation Fund. More than 27 years ago, the county's Board of Freeholders asked our residents via a referendum if they would establish a trust fund for the preservation of open space and farmland. Federal and state funds for land preservation were dwindling, and development pressures were mounting. Our freeholders, guided by the efforts of the not-for-profit Morris 2000 Planning Group, recognize that sound community planning requires a balance of economic growth and the protection of natural resources here in Morris County. That Freeholder Board, consisting of the late Tony Bucco, Pete O'Hagan, Pat Highland, Sissy Lories, and Frank Drutzler and Ed Tam, listened to the advice that was made and made their case to the voters of Morris County. The voters responded with a resounding yes. As a result, with a bipartisan mandate, the freeholders on December 22nd, 1992, established the Morris County Open Space and Preservation Trust Fund. The original trust fund provided grant funding to municipalities, nonprofits, the Park Commission, the MUA, farmers, and landowners for permanent preservation of open space and farmland. The county's park director at the time was Quentin Schiller, said it best: "This is an investment in the quality of life here in Morris County. It speaks well of our residents that they would sacrifice in dollars now for the betterment of Morris County's future." In November 1994, 25 years ago, Open Space Committee Chair Dr. Joe Weisberg came to the freeholders with the first 3 recommendation open space grants: Liffy Island here in Jefferson Township, Turkey Brook Park in Mount Olive, and Knuth Farm in Denville. Chairman Weisberg told the freeholders, "Many of these projects are extremely sensitive areas that deserve to be saved, need to be saved, and let's hope this is a first step in their preservation." By a unanimous vote, the Freeholder Board, also now including Joan Bramhall, John Eckert, and Jim O'Brien, approved these first 3 projects. After the years passed, the trust fund's scope was extended to include the preservation of historic sites, flood mitigation, and recreational trail construction. Here are some of the numbers by facts. Since the inception of the county's Open Space Fund, 474 grants have been awarded for projects in 38 municipalities. 403 projects have been completed. Total preserved acreage is 17,475 acres and counting. Successful projects have been awarded $289.7 million in grants. The largest project was Fire Tower Ridge in Mount Olive at 613 acres. The smallest dollar award was the 2.5-acre Butler Raceway project at $11,000. And the single largest grant was $10 million for the Giralda Farms property in Chatham Township. County residents who have supported open space preservation, even during tough economic times, have benefited in a variety of ways. Critical natural resources, which are vital to our public health and quality of life, have been protected. We now possess in perpetuity some of the most beautiful, diverse, and highly accessible parks and outdoor recreational facilities in the state. We have supported our state's heritage and agriculture. It remains a deeply rooted part of our economy, which provides healthy, locally grown foods, much-needed jobs, and tax revenues generated from farm markets and tourism. We have been able to preserve many precious historic sites and buildings in our county, some dating back to the Revolutionary War. Maybe the least known benefit of the program has been the cost savings to municipalities by lowering the need for expansive public services. Residential and commercial developments require increased police and fire services, larger schools, and other costly infrastructure expansions. Farms, parks, and historic sites do not. Going forward, the essential work of the Preservation Trust Fund continues. The Board of Freeholders expects the next round of open space preservation recommendations early in November. As we move deeper into the 21st century, it is very important to complete what we have begun here at places like Liffy Island. We need to effectively steward the natural resources in which we have invested, to connect our trails, to complete our greenways, and to ensure that Morris County remains the best place to live and work and to go to school and raise your family here in New Jersey. To all of you here today, thank you for being part of this great effort. On behalf of the entire Freeholder Board, I thank you very much for everything. Thanks.